All right, guys, what's good? It is one of your co-hosts, Ronald, in the building, doing the intro again. Yeah, Dab. Welcome to the new year. Welcome to 2023. We're so glad to have you guys here, and we're so glad to, still be doing this a couple years later. Today's episode 18, is going to be about New Year's resolutions, what we're trying to do to be better in terms of bettering our lives, and also how to keep consistent with your New Year's resolutions and why we kind of fail with a lot of our New Year's resolutions going forward. So anyways, thank you for all you guys' support. Hopefully we have a bomb ass 2023, and I'm hoping that you guys reach all your resolutions. Peace, love, and enjoy this episode, guys. All right. What's good?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the UGH
Happy New
podcast.
Year.
New year, new UGH. No
Should
more.
we do an actual intro? I was thinking about it at work today.
I see other podcasts that just
Yeah.
start when they're just talking and it just starts randomly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever feels natural.
Yeah. This is our intro.
This is our intro.
This is our
When we
intro.
talk about our intro, welcome back.
Welcome back.
One of these days we'll have a proper intro.
We'll hire
Hey guys,
someone,
welcome to the UGH podcast.
pay him 50 cents an hour. Just okay, I need you to make a whole graphic and then
Oh,
you
no,
make a
what-
whole tune, the song, and everything.
what is that website called? Oh, Fiverr.
Yeah, on Fiverr.
On Fiverr.
Yeah.
Well, new year, new
Yeah,
new me.
2023.
2023. First of all, I think this is the first time we've seen each other since. Well, no, first UGH episode since
Since
the new
the new year has started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How are your guys' holidays?
it was
Busy
pretty
as
good. It was just pretty good. I just got to see a lot of family, which is
Yeah.
always a plus.
Yeah.
I just love seeing family.
Same family, friends, very busy.
Very busy.
I booked up a week and a half off work and
Yeah.
didn't feel like a book time off because I was so
No, I know. That's how I feel
I was
too.
everywhere and I was
Yeah, I actually got sick the last part of my holidays because I was I did
shit
not
in your
have any
system.
That's so ass.
did not have any
That's so ass.
rest days, and I was always at gatherings and stuff.
It didn't feel like
yeah.
vacation.
There were
Yeah.
so many gatherings. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
So many family.
So is
parties.
COVID over? I'm just kidding. No,
Yeah, COVID is a construct of your mind.
it's a mindset.
COVID is
COVID is a mindset.
I feel like a lot of people kind of just got over it, and
Yeah.
I think because I used to also research on my time here and there, but like the politics of COVID, and I'm just you know what? If I die, I die.
If I die,
Honestly, yeah, I'm at that point too.
Yeah.
I'm honestly I'm being responsible with how I go out, but from my understanding, a lot of people haven't really. There hasn't really been a lot of news about it.
No.
From what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I was actually talking about, I think we talked about this on one episode, but the COVID episode, but we also talked about, I talked about this with my coworker the other day. It's the one of the biggest pluses people came out of COVID with is actually being cleaner and washing
Actually
their
being
hands and
cleaner,
shit. So it's
For some of us.
well, for some of us, some people just still go piss and don't wash their hands. It's disgusting.
Just check Lawrence's controller. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it's
a little blow.
I just feel
This guy's
people in
sleeping.
general are just a lot more cleaner. I feel like a lot of people now are just more aware of washing their hands, bringing hand sanitizer with them. I feel like I never carried hand sanitizer around with me before, and now I always have it on me. Yeah. It's yeah.
Speaking about changing attitudes,
Change.
today's episode is about New Year's resolutions.
Woo!
Happy New Year 2023. When we,
New
go
Year, guys.
when we go to the gym, all the resolutioners are there.
Oh my
Oh.
god, man! I actually.
I was in the gym January 2nd, a couple days after New Year's.
Was it busy?
And I was oh, there's more people. Fuck. I forgot. I totally
Yeah.
forgot because I was so used
Yeah.
to going, and then I just another workout day, right?
And it's yo, I go at the dead of night. Sometimes I'll be going at 12, and it's just there's
There's a lot of people
a
there.
hell of people, and I'm yo, I'm just. I want to get my pump in. I'm in and out of there 45 minutes.
45 minutes, 45 minutes,
for
yeah,
my
45
workout,
minutes,
yeah.
yeah.
I went at 10 a.m. and I saw it and I was like, damn, there's so much shoes in the rack.
Yeah.
And so many
Yeah.
people and all the cubbies that I have all my gym equipment. I was where do I put my shit? Yeah.
I'm sometimes I'm at that point, I want to go home.
Take that L and go home, bro.
It's gonna be too musty in here. There's gonna be
No,
too many people on the equipment.
Yeah.
Please clean up yourselves, and they just fart on the chair and leave.
This far and
Yeah. No, I hate it at like some gyms. Like some people just don't wipe after themselves.
No.
It's pretty bad. That's the thing. Yeah, the thing is like you think that after COVID, we will wipe out themselves, but some people like
they don't get. Yeah, they're just they don't care.
Fuck. Yeah,
they just don't care.
Anyways, in terms of New Year's resolutions, do you guys kind of believe in New Year's resolutions? Do you think they're a good thing? They're effective? Or
I'm a to each your own kind of person. So I personally don't really do New Year's resolution. Sometimes I feel like sometimes it limits people because they kind of wait till a due date in order to start, whatever, and they kind of like on this specific day I will start trying for something.
Yeah,
I think that sometimes limits people's autonomy to actually like get into something, and I think a lot of people kind of don't give themselves permission to go forward. However, for some people, I do know that kind of works. My only concern is that a lot of times when I see people do New Year's resolution, they do the whole January 1st and they start this task, they stop and they stop forever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you don't need a day to keep going. Like you can keep going without January 1st. Like
for sure.
100%.
Yeah. For myself, I think like personally, I kind of agree with you. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. Like you can start a goal whenever the fuck you want, right? Like January 1st is just another day. But actually, like when I was Googling stuff to prepare for this podcast, studies have actually shown that, like New Year's Day, January 1st, is one of these, like, they're called like temporal landmarks, where it helps people, have more motivation, to start a goal or to kind of evaluate their life and look themselves and say, hey, I'm kind of a bum. I need to fix up.
Let's go.
So like two factors into that was the study showed that it gives people an idea, a mentality of like, oh, a new year is literally new year, new me. It's like a clean slate, right? Yeah. Because I mean, I guess it's built into society with all like the New Year's celebrations and like ringing in a new year. Hope you have a successful 2023.
They're building around the sun once. So like, yes, let's go.
Yes. Yeah, and then the second part is like helping people look at things big picture. So like looking back a year from now, oh, like last year, how am I better off? And then that kind of gives you motivation to keep going. But so in that sense, like Jason said, it works for some people. But personally for me, it's just, like I can set a goal for the year. I can stop it. If I can evaluate, I can like, and any day can be a starting point.
It kind of reminds me of like Valentine's Day, because I know there was a lot of criticisms where like I find some people kind of see it as a day of like where the companies can meet your money per se, and Valentine's Day. I was talking to one of my coworkers. She was saying like, I just like how like Valentine's Day is just a day where like corporate uses to get money out of you, and I was like, that's true. Like I think that's a great way of looking at it, but also at the same time, I think when you work like a full-time job and like you're constantly busy, just to remember to have intimacy with your partner sometimes is very difficult. And so like just having that idea per se, it's just another day. Like in reality, it's another day, but just the idea of it's being something, it kind of motivates people to behave differently and to kind of take appreciation of like what is. So for example, January 1st would be like, oh, like is a day where I would think about and reflect about who I am and what I want it to be. Because I feel like if it was just like a continuous time stream of like time goes on, people might be like not really think about that, and like motivation will die down.
Valentine's Day is another kind of like temporal landmark, and how I kind of see them being helpful is that like if you think about behavior, right? If you start a new behavior, let's say this is the beginning of time, January 1st, right?
No, November and everything.
You start a new behavior, but then over time, if you haven't built up that habit, that behavior kind of tapers off. So let's say it's using the Valentine's Day example, like appreciating your partner. That behavior, like on January 1st, is you're giving them appreciation, you're making them time, and then it kind of tapers off, and then February 14th rolls around, like, hey, it's Valentine's Day. It kind of like
shoots back up.
It kind of does that step change, right? But I also see like your point on companies using it as an opportunity to leech more money, because you can probably do a Google search on like start at end of December, beginning of January, like these gyms offering like new member discounts.
Absolutely, bro.
These these fitness studios or whatever,
Yeah,
offering
bro.
like, hey, if you join us, New Year's resolution.
These IG fitness models are popping off on social media on January 1st.
A lot of like gyms, like if you're already a member of the gym, like they like remind you that you have a guest pass for that month.
Yeah.
And only in that month. But you get it every other month. Like you get it every month. Like you're allowed to have one free guest pass a month. Well, like Good Life, I know it is. Like you get one free guest pass, but like in January they email you like, hey, remember you got one free guest pass for like a homie, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm trying to get my homie to sign up for a gym membership.
Honestly, not to be like a most like anti-capitalist like person, but yeah, like that was kind of her argument because like like I get what you're saying, but the thing is like a lot of things that we do are motivated by profit. A lot of things we sold to us like ideas are simply just to make profit. And like the illusion of free choice. The illusion of free choice. And I was like, like I understand the argument of like, well, it's just corporations, the conspiracy theorists, whatever. It's like I get it. I'm not saying you're wrong. Like I agree that definitely companies use these certain days to use that behavior to analyze your behavior to make profit off you. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like it's also just nice to not think about it and get some bitches. Just to be able to appreciate like life as it is. Because you only got one life.
I think for me, I don't really. I think I agree with you guys. I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. I think I was like very, very for it like before. I was like, oh man, this year I'm gonna lose all this weight. And it's like this year I'm gonna get my bread up. This year I'm gonna graduate. It's just like never did any of those things. So it's like I think it's a good point to like. I think New Year's is a very good point to be like look back at your year. Yeah. I think that's the one thing I do appreciate about New Year's is like everyone takes a step and looks back at all the accomplishments and all the things that they've made. Like, I know it's like super corny, but like when you scroll on TikTok and everyone's like, oh, these are like my 2022 eras and stuff like that.
TikTok and like the 2022 season TikTok.
They're gonna cut off everyone. I was like, nice, okay, cool.
or like it's like the things I don't regret buying in like 2022 or whatever, and people like recap their year. It's like kind of cool to see people like go through that. But I think like the goal setting and like the New Year setting, it's like I think I find myself setting more goals on my birthday than I do in New Year's. Because it's like
you're getting old, bro.
Because it's like I think before it was like when we were like 16 to like 18, we were like, oh, like like New Year's was like a more convenient time because we were still in school and like we still had that like we're still around the same people and the same environment. So we're like, oh, in the New Year's, I'm gonna get all A's on my like midterms or finals or whatever. Yeah. And I think as we get older, it's like age starts to creep up on us a lot more. So like I think our birthdays become much more significant. It's like we look back and it's like, okay, what did I do in 24, 25, 26? Yeah.
No, that's
like,
true.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah, I kind of think about that because like usually, like the whole like school format where you start in September and in April, May per se, depending if you're in post-secondary or high school. Is that like because during that January 1st you're on like that Christmas break.
You're on like Christmas break. You're coming back into the new term.
Yeah, but if you work a full-time job, you just work to
You just like you're like fuck.
For like working on Boxing Day and like working Christmas morning and trying to see your family in the evening.
I just know on Boxing Day, bro, all the retail workers were exploited as hell. Like they want to punch a customer.
Just as the eyes are sunken in.
I'm so
shit.
glad I don't work at a.
Respect to my retail.
Yeah, yo, shout out to retail people. But that being said, like, what was I talking about?
Talking about
like birthdays. Birthdays. So birthdays. Like because there's not really like a certain break time per se. Like maybe vacations. Like, birthdays would be the actual like pivot point to be like, okay, I'm getting older. That's like where I think about my year.
Yeah.
Because like I think about like what I did per se when I was 24, and then I was like, okay, now I'm 25. What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to kind of get out of the way? And then how do I see myself in like the 26th year per se? Yeah. So that's I think that's a great point to bring up about like how
birthdays is our New Year's, bro.
Yeah, that is our New Year's. Yeah.
I think like the main point would be like you don't need to limit yourself to New Year's to set goals.
No.
And I think a lot of people know that, but you kind of brought up a good point where school, like even the start of a semester can be like, oh, this semester I want to accomplish this and this and this.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, maybe in the summer.
Yeah.
And this summer I want to travel this much. I want to work this much. Like, yeah. So I guess like, and New Year's definitely not the only time you can set goals.
Yeah. It does make sense for school though, because it's like if you try to set like a goal, like, oh, I'm gonna get like an A in this class halfway through the semester, you're like, it's done, bro.
It's done, bro.
You're
start January first week. Get your shit together.
You're at a D, bro. Like, you're not getting an A.
Just focus on passing the class.
Yeah. Like, if you get to January and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get an A in this class, it's much more realistic, right? Because you haven't started anything yet.
You don't have like past work that
Yeah.
No, it's good. I guess you can see a New Year's resolution as a double-edged sword, because like I do believe that it's very important to not limit yourself between like a certain day to start, because like I think a lot of people, when they kind of fail at their New Year's resolution, like maybe at March or April, or maybe even January,
it's like the end of January, they're like, fuck going to the gym.
They see failure as like a continuous. They see it as like an adverb of like continuously failing, but it's like, you know, you can stop and you keep going, right? So just because like, say you started January, let's say you gave up on your New Year's resolution by March, right? They think, okay, that's it. Like I give up. It's like, no, like you don't fail once. You're continuously failing every day.
Yeah.
And I think it's also know that you can stop failing per se and to continue where you left off, even if it takes a month or 2 months. Just give yourself the autonomy to actually be like, hey, remember when I was doing this? I should probably try to get back on track.
Try doing it again.
And it's very difficult when like I feel like a lot of people unconsciously give themselves permission only to try.
And then like once they fail, then that's it.
In like those like 3 months, you're like, oh, like you're going good. But I feel like building a habit as big as like a resolution or goal, it doesn't take like the 3 months to like just accomplish or whatever. I think a lot of people, when they think New Year's resolution, they think like short-term goals too, especially when it's like actually like a super long-term thing, like losing weight. Like losing weight's such a big,
you're so common.
Like you want to lose 20 pounds, like
you're not losing.
You're not losing 20 pounds in 3 months. I guarantee you that.
No, not healthily, not
healthily.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Like,
I mean, if you follow those fitness influencers on,
like
I know they have like fucking needles and shit on them.
Yeah,
like,
they're fucking
patches.
Injecting HGH and shit, and eating tapeworms and.
Yo, fuck. Honestly, I just sometimes I feel like these like models need to be a little more honest. Like, yo, if you got work done, just be honest. Like,
if you're not natty, that's okay. Bro.
Yeah, like if it's okay if you're not natural, just like I just feel like you're selling this idea that like people can get like that body per se through natural workout and eating. Yeah. But if you're working class, like you're not gonna get those bodies.
No,
you gotta be like,
especially if like you don't have the time. Like if you're working or in school,
got kids,
got other responsibilities. Gotta be realistic.
Yeah, you can't just wake up one day and like fuck my kids and then just like start working out. That's not how it works. People got responsibilities, you know.
No, for sure.
On that note, though, like I guess we can move on to the next type of question. So, it's basically, what do you guys think? Why do some people fail at their New Year's resolutions? Like, is it lack of motivation? Is it just like the failure thing, or
because they're a bitch? No, I think
that could be part of it.
I think it's true. I think it's in my opinion, I think it's just it's like multiple variables. Like I don't think it's like one. Answer. I think probably one of the bigger like motivators is that like a lot of times when people kind of get into something, they go balls deep. And like too much to the extent so they burn themselves out. But I think consistency is always better than just going like full force and then experience the burnout. Because like when I first went to the gym, I think it was like 30 minutes a day, like 30 minutes every time I worked out. And I would follow like a very light workout, and just the idea of getting endorphins, which to me was enough. It's just not the idea of trying to accomplish a lot, but trying to accomplish something of the day, right? I think a lot of people kind of see their progress as like something you can measure every time. So when they feel like they're not kind of getting to that progress, they kind of give up. And like, what's the point? You kind of get this nihilistic view of like, there's like it's not really worth it. But it's like that kind of sets you up for failure, and like that kind of like stops you, especially because like especially if you're far away from January 1st and you're like, oh, like why am I doing this? Then like, it's easy to give up. But the point is not necessarily because like you wake up every single day with different emotions, and like when you wake up, you're not always going to be motivated to do everything, right? So sometimes you can't always use like your motivation say to motivate you. It's just the idea of building routine, and sometimes making it like a very simple routine as opposed to a complex like hit this PR at this day, or like do this like aggressively. It's better just to actually just be able to do the activity, even if it's like a shitty gym day, so you can keep going. And I think like the idea of trying to like overshoot yourself really kind of turns people away, because it's like you look at people and they're all in their fitness journey and you only see the finished product, you don't see the journey. I think it's very important, and I think a lot of people kind of compare that. They have a dick measuring contest with people on social media and like friends, whatever, and that kind of just like kind of discourages them to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think as also just using that fitness / going to the gym example, a lot of the benefits you get from going to the gym or trying to be more healthy, you can't just measure by just weight loss, right? A lot of it is qualitative as well, how you look, how you feel, and also stuff that you don't measure on a daily basis, or most people don't measure, like blood pressure or like cholesterol or like other stuff in your body that you don't know what's going on. Like you may not be losing weight, but at the start, but the benefits are like building up.
Right? And people can see it. Like
people can see it,
like, especially like in a fitness terms. Like if your goal is to lose weight, right? I think the reason why a lot of people quit, like one of the main reasons in my opinion, is when people come like with an obstacle that they can't like get over, and they can't use that like New Year's high anymore to get over that obstacle. Like it's always like they just hit a wall. Like and again, it's like whether it's that consistency obstacle or it's that like say they were a little too in depth into like they're trying to hit that PR, right? They're trying to hit those like 2-plate bench, or they're trying to like deadlift like a truck or something like that. I don't know.
Truck.
Like
just dump truck.
When people hit that obstacle, they're like, fuck. Or like for instance, say like it's like like my New Year's resolution is to not eat as much junk food, and then they like just start letting themselves go because like they're hitting that obstacle. I had a shit day, so I'm gonna just eat.
Stress eat.
And then like it just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs till it becomes like an obstacle that they can't overcome.
And then
so it's like
that New Year's resolution high is like kind of the motivation, and like when you use that as your foundation to keep going, then when you don't have it, then what's your motivation to keep going, right? And I think that's a great point to bring out, because like a lot of times you can't say the question like, why am I keep doing said activity? Because like with fast food, like I noticed that my behavior where it's like, if I feel like shit and it's that day, I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Like at that point, like I need something to like, I guess, close my day in a good note, and like not allowing yourself to have a shit day. End it at the shit day, which is like sometimes very scary, because like a lot of people don't want to, end the day shit and then wake up feeling like shit and have to go through a cycle, right? But just allowing yourself to actually like, it's not going to be like sunshine and rainbows every single day of your life.
It's like can't end on a loss, you know what I mean?
It's can't end on a loss. It's like you're like, I'm gonna end in the win,
gotta end in the win.
It's like Zion when he plays Smash Bros. Like you can't leave the house until he gets a dub. He's like one more.
But no, I think that's a great point to bring up, because I think a lot of people don't want to end in the L. They can't hold the L, and sometimes when it comes to like progress, you have to hold the L, even those little L's. So like, for having a shit day, put your debit card away. Put it away.
Put it away
and hold the fucking L. Like,
because there's like a saying whenever we play video games. I don't know if you remember, Jason. Like whenever we play Valorant in the league, it's like I can't go to bed without a smile on my face.
You're not going to bed.
So you gotta play one more game to get that dub. You know what I mean?
Next thing you know, it's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. You still haven't gotten a dub. It's like
7 a.m. waking up in the morning.
Gotta start my job, my full-time work, and at 5 p.m. play the game again.
My life, bro. Okay, for me, I thought of like kind of 3 big reasons. So the first one for why people find it hard to stay consistent, and all of these I've experienced personally. So the first one is being too ambitious. I think you mentioned it earlier in the episode too, like being too ambitious with your goals or setting too much goals. Because like you can say I have 2 goals for this year. That's it, right? You can say like, I want to become more fit and I want to save more money. But then you need to break down those goals into smaller ones, because there's a lot of things that go into being fit more than just going to the gym. And there's a lot more things that go into saving money than just budgeting. Right? For example, if you're going to the gym, you like how often are you going to the gym? Like I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. That's a specific goal. And then like how often do you meal prep? How often do you eat junk food? All that stuff. The next one is like, I think the first thing, if you want to set a goal, is reflecting and recognizing your bad habits. Because
that's huge. That's huge.
It's good enough to like just say, hey, I want to save money, but I'm not gonna start a budget. I'm not gonna start tracking my expenses. I'm not gonna start like doing all that stuff. So I think that's why people hit a wall starting around like March time, because they haven't evaluated their bad habits. They haven't eliminated their bad habits. So they're trying to build up new ones without eliminating their bad habits. So
contradictory, probably.
Yeah. So for example, the example I put down here is for saving money. Like, okay, let's say you set aside, call it $100-$200 a month, right?
A month, right? Yeah.
But you haven't eliminated the bad habit of going out to eat,
buying those Valorant skins,
buying Valorant skins, buying coffee every day. So those will put those obstacles in your way, like, and then at the end of the month you're like, oh fuck, I don't have $100. Yeah, where's my $100? Well, you spent it all eating out and stuff, right? And then the third one, which is really important, is your support system. You gotta have you gotta have people who are there to support your goals, because if they're just like, oh, you're too fat, man. You're not gonna get famous.
I love my friends. I really do. I love my friends.
Exactly what you're thinking, because I'm literally like, I'm upset. Go on. I'll let you speak.
Let me put this disclaimer. I love my friends. I really love my friends. I love my brother. And I love all you guys. But there are just some friends where if I'm trying to better myself, I cannot hang out with. Especially if it comes to like saving money. Being more fit. Like picking up another hobby or stuff like that. It's just like, I love you guys. I really do. But it's just like, you guys are such, like, you guys just indulge me. You guys are like my demons. Bro. You guys are like gaslighters. Like, you guys are like the demons on my shoulder. It's like my good intentions are like my angels. Like all my homies who are like thriving. They're like, yo, like, who are like more expertise. Like, say like one of my goals was like one of my goals. Like, I didn't really set this for New Year's, but one of my goals for going into 26 was to like look healthier, be super shredded, and like get buff. And like, I have a lot of friends who are like into the gym and stuff like that. They're always like, oh, okay, yo, like you need to do this with your calories and this with your like lifting and do this. And then like I'll have other homies who'll be like, yo, you wanna like, you're going to the gym? You wanna just stay home and play Smash?
We're going to wanna go to Dons or D-Spot? Wanna go to D-Spot?
Yeah, bro. And it's like if I'm trying to save money and I like have an allocated budget and all this stuff. Like I've actually recently just started like tracking like my daily expenses and my weekly expenses.
That's good.
And for like the first month, and see like how much I actually spend versus like how much I actually make, and then like seeing like what I can cut out and stuff. And then it's always like, yo, you see these new shoes that just came out, bro? And I'll be like, fuck. And he's like, yo, if you couple up. And it's just it's so bad. Or like even with my brother, he'll be like, yo, I'm feeling lonely. And I'm like, okay. He's like, you want to go get tacos?
Oh my,
it's FOMO.
And
man.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It's FOMO. And I think like everyone has a natural FOMO of like to be included, to be valued by your peers. And that makes sense, right? Because like just to comment on that, like I know I didn't see you guys, like especially like because I know like my girlfriend was trying to finish her school year, right? So I didn't see you guys for almost a month, right?
Yeah.
I ate good. Like I was eating better, right?
Yeah.
I want to see you guys like we went to fucking that meat place. I'm not gonna mention it. And fuck, man,
the
like,
block, bro. The block.
Yeah. I was eating. I was full. I was the only one who actually. I think I was the only one who didn't finish my food. Fucking Ziad. I was like, yo, finish your food. Like, I'm full. Like, I told you, stop ordering so much, because I know. Because usually when we go there, we order food and we don't finish it, right?
Every single time.
And he ordered more than we ordered last time. Like, bro, like,
it's our bad habit. It is our bad habit.
One of our friends had to get a physical because he couldn't.
It's for the culture, like, for the culture.
Like when I tell you, for our viewers and for Vids here, like when we go out to eat, we always over order. It is like, to be honest, I feel like at this point, it isn't even like who orders at this point. It's like, it's just us together. Like when we're together, we just like, we're just like, fuck it. Like we're like, yo, we got homies who can body the food, or like
individually we're smart, but together we're stupid. You know?
No, we're so stupid.
Because you know how they're like two brains are better than one. Not with us. Like when we're around each other, we're very stupid, and I think that's something to kind of point out, because like usually food is such a social thing. Because a lot of people use food as a community thing to like when you eat together, right? Yeah. Usually friends that don't necessarily have the same hobbies, one of the things that connects people is food. Like, and I appreciate you guys can attest to this for like Filipino culture, right? Pull-ups and stuff, right? And that's something I noticed that even the younger generation, when you hang out with your homies, like, okay, yo, where we're trying to go, right?
Where we're trying to eat.
Staying home is not really like an option because like it's like obviously we have video games, right? But like sometimes if you don't really have those hobbies, like if you want to see each other consistently, food would be
the social glue.
Yeah, the social glue per se, and like that, that's fine. Like everyone has their own social glue, whatever. Like to each their own. But like, yo, like I definitely think if you're trying to, let's say, lose weight or to save money, one thing I think friends should be able to do is be like, hey, I'm broke, or hey, we ordered too much food, let's order less food.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, like we don't get that luxury.
We actually don't. Like it's like it's not because we want to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that, and it's not like we don't want to say it, because I think we do. We actually do consciously say it. We're like, yo, like let's not order this much food.
I say, yo, like so loud.
Like let's not order Dillo's today. Dillo's is a really like it's a heavy greasy pizza place.
Yeah.
It's not Senor's, but it's very close to. And it's just like I just think that like the what's it called? Is it the serotonin? Like that's the
the happy chemical.
The happy chemical. Yeah. I think it's just because our serotonin is running so high when we're together. Because it's like we're friends and we love the company, right? And we get excited. I think it's like that serotonin like just like dose just like makes us so freaking dumb when we're together. So that like all we do is just like one person mentions this like dumb shit and we just all go
group think.
Yeah, because it's like I think even Vince can attest to this, because like when me and Vince is an engineer and I think I'm very smart by myself too, and it's just like when we're together like and we're ordering food, me and Vince, we never think. We just never think. Like the other day we went to Bubbles.
Oh, we went to Bubbles, yeah.
And Vince was like, yo, like, let's order 110 wings. And I'm like, thinking like, I was telling the group, I'm like,
looking at
for the record, there were 10 of us there.
There was 10 of them there. So but I was like looking at, because it's like, obviously, like not everyone's a big eater at that table. Like, there's girls and there's some of the guys probably ate beforehand, right? Yeah. And I'm like looking at Vince and I'm like, yo,
you know, 2 rices too? 2
and then Vince was like 2 rices on top, and I was like, you know what? I had a rough week. Fuck it.
Dude. Okay, that's the thing, is like when you have a shitty week, like shit after shit after shit after shit, and when you're friends and they're like, excited.
You get excited. You're like, you get to see them finally.
Yeah. Like, and I think that's maybe something that like maybe even we can point out our behavior. Like you said, like point out the bad habits that we have. Right? Is that when we see our friends, we get excited, and we're so excited to be included in something that whatever they say, we're like, fuck yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm so down.
So when doesn't matter how ludicrous the idea is of how much food we should order or what we should do, you're like, fuck it, yeah. Your friend says, let's get fucking high as the Eiffel Tower. You're like,
I'm down. How high should I jump, bro?
Yeah, exactly. Like highest in the room looking at.
Yeah.
It's so bad. So like, I think that's one thing. And obviously, I don't really advocate for people for like cutting your friends off. I think it's very problematic.
No, that's dumb.
Some people are like, fucking those Twitter girls are like, I'm gonna cut everyone off or whatever, right?
New year, new me.
Yeah,
because it's like we're not saying that we hate our friends or anything like that, and we're not saying that they're bad friends at all.
It's just stupid.
We're all stupid like together, like we are like, and it's just how he is. I think it might be exclusively a guy thing, but I think that like it's also like with girls too. Like they're just like you always see like in media, it's like, let's go do our nails, and it's like not, or like some shit like that, right? It's like just anyone in general will all do it together and like, all be dumb together. Yeah. Like, and I just think that's like, like, have you ever met like a smart group of friends that hasn't done something dumb at least once, like all together?
Dude.
Like, no,
we're like, let's go eat. No, we'll think about this for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll be rational about this.
Yeah. It's like, yo, get this guy out of here, bro.
Let's do a cost benefit analysis.
No, dude, that's individually when I'm alone.
Yeah. When I'm alone.
I download apps. I do like a budget template and everything.
No.
And I'm like very rational in my thoughts. I'm able to reflect. But when you're caught in the fucking hype, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Hype, man. And like you get all the adrenaline, all the dopamine. You're like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, because it's like one person says I'm down, and then you're like, and then 2 other people say I'm down. You're like, fuck, this might be fun. I'm down. But it's like a dumb idea collectively.
I think I can go back throughout all my life and like count. Like I wouldn't be able to count the amount of times that's like
that we've done that like with me and Vince or me and Jason or like just in our group of friends in general. Like you just like you get home and you're like, man, like fuck man. You're like shit like especially like let's take this food example like it's a running gag in our group of friends like every Friday friends like to have Tums on hand and like that's such a and that our favorite drink is ginger ale like that's such a bad thing to have, you know what I mean, like we just normalize like, yo, you got Tums on hand. Like we just normalized eating Tums after we eat.
I think
like you shouldn't do that. Like
we made a joke and it was unironic at first, but it got to a point where we were like it's okay, we got Tums and ginger ale, right? We were like joking about it. Like,
yeah.
So you know when you're trying something new for the first time, like, unironically, and I think that's what happened. Where it's like we have Tums and ginger ale, we'll be fine. So the amount of food we order will be more diabolical every single time. But it's okay because we unironically had Tums and ginger ale, but we actually have Tums and ginger ale.
But we actually use it. Like
so we give ourselves permission to be a dumbass and order over order.
Like make better decisions when you're with your friends.
Groupthink.
I think it's like separating yourself from groupthink too, and I think like trying to be more of an independent thinker and trying to like convince them like, hey, like let's not order that last pound of brisket. Like let's chill. You know what I mean? And then. Or like, let's not order Dillos tonight. Let's not get pizza.
Learning to think for yourself is probably very hard because even if you're someone who's like very like I don't need nobody, whatever kind of person, even then when you're with people that you're intimate with, sometimes you get to that.
It's always you're always like I think even like even someone like a significant other, like you always like. If that significant other suggests something, you're always going to be like, oh, okay, like your serotonin's high. You're with the person that you really, really care about. You're going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm down to do whatever.
Yeah, and you want to make them happy, right?
Yeah, so like, exactly.
But at the same time, I think going back to that food kind of analogy, I think like if it's not like a special occasion, like someone just got married or someone just graduated or something. And if you guys are planning or someone brought up an idea to go to this kind of expensive-ish place and it's not in your budget, there was this one video I saw on YouTube where it's like, you know, you got to learn how to set boundaries and like make other suggestions, right? Like you can just say, hey, like, you know, I spent a little bit too much this month. Can we like do Don's instead or something?
Yeah,
right?
let's not go to a steakhouse for the third time this week. Like, let's just go get Don's.
I mean, full circle with boundaries. Yeah, it's super important. I think, and I think it's like it's very helpful when you have broke friends who understand broke people.
Yeah.
But when you got people who are wealthy, they like there's some disconnect.
Oh, there's a huge disconnect.
They take it personally. It's
like what do you mean? What the?
It's like, what do you mean you don't have money? It's like, yo, like.
And then they start pointing out all the times that you spend money on this and this and this.
Yeah.
And like, you know, they really point it out like, oh, but you spend money on this and this.
It's like you got 10 Timbits earlier, and I'm like, okay, like 10 Timbits does not equate to like a steak dinner somewhere. Like,
right. And they try to like. Like, hey, like I don't got a rich daddy, so shut the fuck up. And it's super hard, but that's one thing I think is very helpful. Is like if you're trying to set a New Year's resolution, boundaries are very important. Even with the people that you love.
Important. Yeah, so important.
Yeah.
And then I think that leads into kind of the next question, where it's like, you know, when you're setting goals, right? It's not always, as you guys said, like you're not gonna get to your end goal right away, right? Like the process is like. Probably 90% of it, right?
Yeah.
It's probably 90% of it.
So 90%.
And it's gonna be painful. It's not gonna be easy.
Oh yeah.
But and obviously when you're making goals, you're gonna have to make sacrifices like eliminating your bad habits, like spending less, whatever.
Yeah.
But what sacrifices are you guys not willing to make in order to achieve your goals?
I think I can start off with this one. I think one of the biggest sacrifices I'm not willing to make is like, I think my support system is one. So like
friend groups,
cutting out like people who genuinely care about me and want to see me be better and stuff. Like if my support system like leads me to neglect that part of me, then it's just like I'm good. Like I think that goal is attainable if I work around it. But like I think. Again, like that's one of the big deal breakers for me. Like personally, if I'm trying to reach a goal, and my own like physical and mental health. Like if I say like let's use the fitness example for instance, like say like I'm trying to lose like 20 to 40 pounds, right? And like I'm going through like the shits of hell, like the depths of hell. I'm like constantly unhappy because all I'm eating is chicken and broccoli, and all I'm eating is and I'm seeing my friends maybe like once every 2 weeks because all I do is I'm going to the gym, going to work, and then falling asleep, right? And I'm just not making it fun for myself. Obviously, not seeing your friends is gonna take a mental hit. You're gonna feel okay, like you're gonna look great, but you're gonna feel like ass.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the one thing that you kind of need to take into account. And I'm not saying like like I feel like shit one day, like I should just quit my goal. It's like when you're consistently throughout like the two like say like a 2 week period where you're just feel like straight ass and you haven't seen anyone, then it's like, okay man, like let's reevaluate this goal. Like let's see how we can kind of move the goalposts so that it becomes a little bit more feasible. You know?
It's like that Wario meme. I've won, but at what cost?
Literally.
No, I think that's a great point to bring up because like I guess still that, and I was gonna describe it as like I wouldn't give up my sanity.
Yeah.
Because like obviously like in the past we obviously criticized hustle culture. Like I do believe that competitiveness and like is very important and just the drive to be able to do things. But when it comes to a point where like I'm living weeks and months living in hell and I really hate existing to achieve my goal, then that's where I'm like that where I would never jeopardize that. I've done that before and I think it's very problematic because like I'm definitely trying to find like I guess a balance of like trying to you know, have that winner's mindset, like pours the mentality.
Pours the mentality.
Pours the mindset.
You're a winner always.
Pours the mindset. But at the same time, understand like that's not true. I'm kidding, by the way. But I'm also just trying to have this like to have more compassion for myself, and I don't think I really am willing to jeopardize like my sanity for my goals.
Oh, 100%.
Like, end of the day, like I do things to feel happy and to be fulfilled, and that's the ultimate goal. I set these goals so that I can also have that sense of feeling. And so when the goal is in the way of the fulfillment, then that doesn't make any sense for me to achieve it, right? Of course, like I will, like you said, I will understand that not every single day is I'm gonna feel fulfilled. That's very much, and just accepting that like not always trying to get a quick dopamine rush of everything. I need to understand that things take time. But if I'm constantly working day and night just to achieve something and things are feeling like shit every single day, that's where I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna jeopardize that. So sanity is very important. It can come in the form of like trying to keep my friendships because I find my friends very important, or just having a day to like rest. Something. It has to be like at least one thing to keep me sane.
Like to offset it, for sure.
I think for me, I kind of I'm gonna take Ronald's too. Like your family and your friends, if you're having to sacrifice like time with them or your relationship with them, like if they're telling you, if they're maybe giving you feedback like, hey, you're kind of like overworking yourself, and you're kind of like, no, you know what, I'm going
Where's the mindset?
I'm going balls deep. You're not supporting me. I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting off talking. Like you know, off everyone.
I say I hate those people, but I've been in those shoes. So
I've been there. I've been there for sure.
Like with like my saving goals or whatever, right? Like sometimes like my parents would tell me to give me advice to go another way, but I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, right? No. Like I've done my research. I have this goal, right?
I have Google.
It's really easy. Scholar. It's really easy to be tunnel visioned by your goals and like just neglect those relationships in your life. I think those like the relationships in your life take precedent over everything.
100%.
Once like you may have achieved your goal. I mean, again, going back to that meme, like I've won, but at what cost? Like, you could be on the top of the mountain, but if you don't have if you don't have anyone to celebrate with, like
what's the point?
What's the point? I think we talked about this in episodes.
We're going full circle.
Yeah.
Because what is it? I saw that one quote where it's like, "What's the point of working so hard if you can't enjoy the fruit of your labor?"
Yeah.
Which is something I always like kind of. Once I heard that, I like really kind of took that to heart, because I remember at one point when I heard that, I was very much like, you know, I was obviously very, very thin and I was very, very sickly. Did not really take care of my body at all. Just because I want the feeling of being quote unquote successful, and to like have that desire of like, I'm worth something of value to other people.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I actually don't give a fuck about what other people think. And I think that kind of went on my tangent of being more of an asshole. But it was a little, and obviously I don't encourage that as well. But just the liberation of not always putting your value from what other people think and just kind of like doing what really does truly make you happy.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very easy to look at something that you like and to try and find a way to make money off it, to commodify it. Like, what would that be, like being a Valorant Twitch streamer, being a dancer, being whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I need to make money off of this, right? But it's like, you don't always have to put your passion or your desires into capitalism and to make profit off it.
You can just
enjoy it for the sake of enjoying it.
It's
very hard for people because sometimes I find people are like, if I have a passion for this, I need to do it for a living.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Oh,
and if you want to, I support that. But understand that even if you're successful at that one thing, if you don't have people around you to support you, then why are you doing it?
Why are you doing
it? Don't you want to have that luxury of like achieving something and having like a close significant other or someone family to celebrate with, and maybe every Christmas or every like birthday you go and meet like a family, whatever, like a family gathering. The beauty of life is not just that passion and that to success, but the beauty is just the experience of what that you share with other people. Like, we are inherently social creatures, and I think it's easy to forget that when you're told that you need to be able to
make money
off this one thing, and you don't allow yourself to indulge in life's beauties. I guess another analogy, because you kind of use the car analogy, right? To talk about like the downfall of your emotions once you achieve said goal.
Yeah.
Like, once you get the car, like using that analogy, what next, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you become a famous or successful basketball player. You get the car of your dream. You become a successful Valorant streamer. You become a dancer, a singer, extraordinaire, whatever. Once you achieve that, like, what is next?
What next?
What next, right? And I think a lot of people base their happiness on that thing instead of using other things as their foundation for happiness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I like a lot of people kind of, they kind of go into this passion because it gets a lot of dopamine from like just enjoying their craft, but they're generally not happy.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like a drug. So they do their passion and like with whatever, and they get that I'm indulging what I love, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're burnt out, and now when they do the thing they love, they no longer get that dopamine.
Yeah.
And so they're doing just for the sake of doing it, and they're on the routine, and they don't really have any foundation for their happiness, right? So like, also realizing that you are going to achieve something. When you achieve something, you're gonna get that downfall of emotion to be like, okay, now what's the purpose of my life?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So constantly questioning, things that bring value to your life instead of just like one thing. And sometimes it's hard to communicate that with someone who's kind of in that mindset of like, this is what I need to do. For sure, this is what I was born to do.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, well, like, what do we think about that? Like, your body can do many things. It doesn't have to be just one thing, right? Sure, if you want to invest a lot of time in it, I support that. And if you want to make a career off it,
yeah, of course,
very admirable.
100%.
But I also think it's very important to learn to go get some bitches and to do other things,
Yeah. Get your bread up.
Yeah.
Because I think that like to kind of like build on top of that, it's just like we take the passion thing for example, right? And you kind of look at like, okay, once you achieve that goal, like, how's it benefiting your life? You know what I mean? And with like something like more practical, like a car or a house, it's like, okay, this is how it's benefiting my life. This is how it's going to improve, and this is how it's going to attract more things that'll improve my quality of life, right? Like, I don't know, having a car, like, you can go places, you have more freedom, right? It unlocks more freedom. With like a house, it unlocks more freedom,
more free time, more peace.
Yeah, more peace, right? Whereas like, it's a little bit tougher with those like passion-based goals, because it's like, once you reach that pinnacle or that goal, right, you're locked in. Like, you like,
in that industry hard. It's hard to move industries.
You're in that industry for like life, or like you're in an industry for a long time, and it's like, say it's not as lucrative as you thought, or say it's not like as fulfilling as you thought. It's like, it's a really shitty feeling.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that like being flexible with your goals, and being more realistic about your goals and a little bit more practical is so important. Yeah. So important.
I think I agree, because like that term, like moving the goalposts, in our society kind of has a negative connotation.
Yeah.
It sounds like failure.
Yeah. It sounds like failure.
But I think it's really important, right, to like, as you said, you can't just have a goal and say, okay, if I don't achieve this, like I have to go balls deep all out to achieve this goal.
Yeah.
But sometimes it may not be realistic. Like, for example, if you lose your job, right, in the middle of the year or whatever, right?
A pandemic happens.
Yeah. You lose a family member.
Yeah.
That shit affects you.
Shit happens.
It does.
So
Shit
you
happens.
need to you have to be flexible, as you said, Ron.
Yeah.
Your goals don't define you. They're just like there to help you move forward in life. And if life takes a left turn, U-turn, then you gotta reevaluate. You know, it's like
It's so funny. I've been hearing this soundbite on TikTok a lot, where it's like, a win is a win. And like, when you move the goalposts, sometimes like a win is a win is like a bad connotation.
Yeah.
But I do think that like a dub is a dub, bro.
Yeah.
Like at least you went out and accomplished something, right? And again, like it comes full circle to the thing that we were talking about in the beginning, where like at the end of the year, everyone looks back at their year and what they've accomplished. Like, yeah, sure, you move the goalpost a couple times, but like imagine if you didn't move the goalpost and you just completely quit, or you just completely just didn't do it at all.
Yeah.
Like, you would look at your year in retrospect, be like, oh fuck, like I wish I still went, like, say, to like, again, like going back to like the gym, like say, fuck, I wish I still went to the gym, right? But like, say like your goal was to go gym 3 times a week, right? And then like you're like, oh fuck, like you stop going to the gym for a week and you're like, oh fuck, okay, well, like I'm gonna just stop going to the gym because I'm already in deep, right?
Yeah.
It's like, if you had just been like, okay, like I'm gonna just move a goalpost, I'm gonna go like once or twice a week, right? And like, say you're not the most consistent, like say you go once, then twice, and then once, and then twice, you start building that habit up again, you're probably gonna go 3 times a week again, right?
You're also way better off than the couch potato as well.
Yeah.
Not to like compare like successes per se, but like I don't know, I'm pretty sure you can find some statistic, but like most people like are just on the couch doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
So you just going to the gym itself is a dub per se.
A dub is a dub, yeah. Like a win is a win.
Yeah, and going back to, like, I know we always go back to the gym example. I think that's relevant to a lot of people.
It's so relevant. It's the one of the most common goals.
But let's say like your goal is, okay, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week without ever going to the gym. You don't know if you like it or not, right?
Yeah.
But let's say your overall goal is just, okay, I want to become more fit. But that, like, to do that, you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. But say you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
Then you go to the gym. It's like, oh fuck, I hate going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So moving the goalpost, an example of that would be like, okay, maybe I go to the gym less, but I join like a fucking
Zumba class or something.
I go do Zumba, or like join a volleyball team, or I buy a skateboard and start skateboarding or some shit, or buy a bike.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you can't just like limit yourself, right? Because the good thing about setting like a big goal is like
there's flexibility.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can get to the end goal. It's not just like a straight line. It's like
because it's like a good thing, and it's like, say like, oh, I want to be more fit, like I want to be more healthy, or say like, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds, because that's still a pretty broad goal.
Yeah. You can start with that.
You can start with that, right? It's like, okay, like one of the things is I'm gonna go to the gym 3 times a week. Say like you fail at that goal, it's like, okay, like then like maybe like the gym isn't for you. Then you can just start eating healthier.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Right. Or like, I feel like eating healthier should have been one of the first things.
In order to lose weight, your calorie count.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the same thing too with like eating healthier. It's like, oh, okay, like fuck, I ate like shit this whole week. It's like it's like, that's okay, dude. Like, just start limiting your cheat meals or cheat days or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's okay to like fail.
Yeah. It's not continuous. It's continuous, so you can stop failing per se. People see it as like, oh, I just failed.
I just failed, so I stopped.
Yeah. I like shit for 1 week. I'm just gonna keep eating like shit.
It's like an excuse to stop. Like some, I don't know, like maybe this is just like a behavior thing, but for some people it's just an excuse to stop pursuing that goal. Like, you know, I failed, you know, this proves I can't do it.
Yeah.
But you didn't
that confirmation bias.
Yeah. Like, you didn't even try to get back into it, right? Like, I don't know, it's just I've experienced it myself too, and that's something that I'm trying to get out of. Like, and I guess this can lead into our like next question, but how do you guys transition from, like, you know, failing at your goals to, like, say you set a New Year's resolution, right? how do you guys like make sure you're more consistent in achieving your goals? Like now that you're grown men.
I feel like
all the lessons you've
learned. Like a lot of
life.
people see consistency and they think like systematic, like everything needs to be the same.
Yeah.
So if I go into the gym, let's say 3 days a week, I do it on a Monday, on a Wednesday, and a Friday. And I break that, I'm not consistent.
Yeah.
Consistency doesn't always look like that. Sometimes they can bend, right? So let's say maybe you want to become a better artist, and so you prompt yourself like, okay, I'm going to draw 3 times a week. Even there will be some weeks that maybe you might draw once a week, right?
Yeah.
And there'll be some weeks where you're like, you know what, I did my 3 drawings this week, but I kind of in the mood to make another drawing, so I'll do that per se, right?
Yeah.
It's just the idea that you're still doing it, and I think changing your focus on like rigidness and like repetitiveness, and taking that out of the realm of that's what consistency should look like. And consistency is just the aim of doing it. Yeah, because I feel like you said, like once you stop, it's easy to snowball, and then like you kind of, I proved myself right, I can do it, right? But it doesn't have to look. Consistency doesn't have to look rigid and repetitive. It can come in different forms.
Yeah.
Just allowing yourself to like, just like, hey, I didn't achieve my drawing at all this week at all. So I didn't draw a single shit this week. Let me try again next week. You fail again? Okay, fine. But then like eventually you have to be like, okay, let's start with 1. Yeah. And then like let's build up back to 3. You know.
Yeah.
Instead of always being like it has to be 3 drawings every week, and if I don't
at
do
this
it,
time,
I'm a shit person.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that, and they set themselves for failure. And I think that's one thing you can do to help yourself better your mentality.
Yeah.
If you miss a day, if you miss whatever, it's okay. Get up, and try again.
Yeah. Especially with those like passion hobbies. Sometimes you just don't feel it. Like what?
Yeah.
What if you don't feel like drawing? You're just gonna draw a circle. Like I can't. I did it. Like on
but you still did
Wednesday at 12 p.m. Right?
It's the same. Yeah, I feel like it's also the same thing with the gym. Like, some days you're gonna feel like not going.
Yeah.
Like, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to go, and then it's like, but the next day you're gonna feel a little better. It's like, okay, like why not go to the gym the next day, right?
I mean, even on those days that you don't feel like going, as like the last example said, as long as you go, like maybe like going back to the gym example, if you don't feel like going, if you feel lazy, tired, or whatever, go for like 30 minutes, go on the treadmill, like just walk. Right? At least you're making that habit. Yeah. And for me, like I see goals more, the more important thing is habits.
Yeah, like just doing it.
Just doing it, right? Because like for example, I have a bad habit of spending too much money on food. Like, oh my god! Like you, I track my expenses every month, and once you see how much money you spend on food, like, damn,
it actually
I spent that much on Dawn, bro. What the fuck?
It's like, yo, I spent that much on coffee this month.
Yeah,
fuck me.
Yeah, so like I have to give a shout out to the homies Ruby and Mark. They got me a French press, and ever since, like, I stopped, or like I go out for coffee less because I can make it at home. Right.
Yeah, it was the same thing with me too.
Yeah.
Like once we got our coffee machine upstairs, I'm like,
because it's I mean, even if you buy it yourself, it's like a one-time expense that saves you money in the long run. So like, building that habit of not going out for food all that much. Yeah. And like even for lunch, if I have to go to the office that day, if I have to scavenge for leftovers or cook something really small for myself, like I'll do it because you
still did something.
Yeah, because I did something.
Give yourself a choice to do better. Yeah.
I took a singular egg to work one time. Like
damn, it's like that's in the trenches, bro.
It's like you're like trying to save money, right?
Yeah,
and it's like you got no rice in the rice cooker. You're like, you're looking for bread. You ain't got no bread. And it's like, all you got is eggs in the fridge. You're like, all right, well, fuck. Okay, I guess I just need to bring something to work so I don't spend something and I don't get hungry. So I cooked up a singular egg and brought it to work. And I think I put it in like a Ziploc bag too, bro.
Bro, it's deep in the trenches.
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep. And it's like,
literally said, pour some mindset and cooked an egg.
and it's like, coffee too. It's like obviously I haven't been the most consistent with coffee. Like sometimes I'll wake up late and I'll be like, oh fuck, I got like 20 minutes to get to work. So it's like I use like the 20 minutes to get up, brush my teeth, and then go to work, right? Whereas like what, and I obviously won't have time to make coffee, so like I'll obviously buy coffee that day because I'm technically late for work, right? But it's not like, say I only do that like twice a week, right? It's better than doing it like the fucking 5 times a week,
yeah,
right? Like at least I only did it twice and I'm still saving money at that point, right? So like even with the money thing, right, it's like constantly doing it. I think like a good example of like the passion thing, like drawing, right? Like I think when a lot of people are like, oh, like I want to get better at drawing, they assume that they have to do like these big extravagant pieces, right? It's like, yo, like just draw a fucking smiley face, bro, like, and then call it a day. Like at least you drew something, right? Yeah. And then it's like more often than not, you draw a little smiley face, you're gonna want to draw a little bit more, right?
Might draw a little mustache.
Yeah, like draw a little mustache and like a little nose on it, and then you're like done for the day. And like that's still like your little doodle. Like it doesn't mean like you have to like draw like a full like fucking Mickey Mouse face with like a background and then the fucking like Disney castle.
A whole ass
canvas. Yeah. It's like bro, like it's not that deep. Like you don't have to. It's the same thing. Like if you don't want to go to the gym that day, just go to the gym. Walk on the treadmill. At least you went.
At least you went. Yeah. You're building that habit.
Yeah. If you want to get better at making music, I don't know, like whistle a tune in your head. Like say like, because I was like, you don't have to make like a whole fucking beat where it's like pianos and like drums and guitars and shit. It's like, nah, man. Like you can just whistle a tune in your head and you're still making music.
Probably go to like your instrument, like let's say piano, say, play a few chords, and then find like like make a natural chord progression. Simple one. And just like that. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Tune.
You're done.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for those kinds of examples, some people will think like, oh, if I don't get anything done, like if I don't have a tangible
like achievement, like a tangible object or achievement
after like the task or something, there's no point of doing it. But I think with a habit, it's just like, again, it's just doing it, right? That's the reward.
Yeah.
Like for example, last summer I had a goal of like relearning how to play piano.
Yeah.
And
I'm doing that right now.
Sometimes I would like beat myself up for not like for not like learning a song in like a set amount of time, like, and not thinking about it. It's just like, you haven't played piano in like fucking 7 years. Like, why do you expect to? But that's a mentality that's like prominent, right? Like if
you want to get it right away,
instant gratification.
Yeah, it's like the one of the big fads right now is crocheting. And it's like, yo, like it's like I didn't make a sweater in like a month.
Yeah.
Like I'm a failure. It's like, no, like if you want to make like a little like just fucking sheet, then that's fine. Like or like you want to do like say you didn't get that like sweater in like a month, right? Like who's to say you're not gonna finish it next month? You know what I mean? Like it's not that deep.
Yeah, and the thought that just came to my head is like, why do we always want instant gratification? It's because of capitalism. Because we always want to learn the skill as fast as we can to make money as fast as we can, right?
So but if your motivation is not profit, then just do it for the sake of doing it.
Just do it. And then maybe if you get good enough, then
you can I'm gonna sell my shit. Whatever that is.
Yeah. It's like one thing that like I've just kind of like really taken up this year in the last couple of years. I think it's mostly because of Jason, my brother, is like Smash. Like I've started to play like Smash Bros a lot and like competitive Smash a lot. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was ass, like really ass.
You got a lot better.
And like I don't know. It's also a product of like them constantly coming over to my house and like playing their favorite game in the world.
Jim and Ziad's favorite game in the world.
Jim and Ziad's favorite game in the world. Someone clip that. But I think that the more you do it and the more you make it a habit, the better you are going to get at it. And I feel like that's why a lot of people like really like video games as an example of getting better, is because you enjoy it when you do it, right? But I think that like I'm not gonna want to play Smash all the time, right? Like I'm gonna want to play like Overcooked like every now and then, or like a Mario Party, or like Played Up, right? Like I'm not gonna want to play like Smash all the time. And I understand why like a lot of people who do video games for a living get burnt out from that specific video game they're famous from.
All those esports,
It's like yo, like I understand, like, because it's like you're not gonna want to play League. Yeah, you're not gonna want to play League for like 8 hours, bro.
Yeah,
like
that game sucks anyway.
That shit's torture.
Toxic.
That is torture, bro.
Like have we all played like a video game for 8 hours straight? Fuck yeah. Do we do it every single day? Hell no.
get out, touch some grass.
My eyes on.
Yeah. So it's like getting better at something, whether it be like video games, obviously, or like dance, or crocheting, or singing, or whatever. Like you do little baby steps, and if you want to get better, it's like let's take like Ziad and Jim's favorite game, Smash, for example. Like say you want to get better at Smash, and it's like it's not like I'm gonna go out and play like 8 hours a day. Like say like I'll do like an intense grind session for 4 hours. Yeah, sure, whatever. But say like I want to practice 3 times a day, right? Like I'm gonna like say like by the 3rd day I'm like, yo, like I don't want to play Smash. Let's like, okay, let's see when I get better. Let's play like 1 online match, and then I'll be good for the day, right? Yeah. Or go in training room and practice a combo or something like that, right? Like Jimma.
The 2-piece.
Yeah, the 2-piece like Jimma. Like then it's like at least like yeah, sure, it's not as tangible as like like I beat Ziad in like a set of like whatever, or like I took a couple games off Jimma, right? It's not like that. I love how I'm using them as examples, but but it's not like that. It's like I hit a combo in training room. That's still a tangible achievement. Or like say, I practiced a chord progression today. Like that's still an achievement, right? Or like I did a couple stitches in my sweater that I'm working on. Cool. Like that's great.
Small achievable
goals.
Tangible goals,
Yeah. It doesn't have to be leaps and bounds every single time. Yeah. Talked about it already.
To wrap it all up and to finish this question, I think one of the things, I don't know if this is more corporate lingo or more influencer lingo, but have you guys heard of like SMART goals? Like the acronym SMART?
Yes.
That's the one. Yes. I saw the analogy where they have the block and then they turn to a circle or a sphere. And then
I don't fucking know.
Okay. Sorry, I saw the diagram. I know what diagram you're talking about.
Okay, maybe
I don't know what I'm talking about. You
I don't shit. So basically, SMART stands for like specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
And time bound. Yeah.
So I think we've talked about all of those stuff in like the past conversations we've had. But essentially, like, setting a specific goal, like breaking down your vague goals into more bite-sized little goals that you could, do every day. Then measurable, it's like you have your quantitative, like I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to save $100, right? Yeah. And then achievable is like, okay, you can do that, but is it really realistic?
Is it feasible? It's like
you're based on your life situation, can you really lose 50 pounds in the next 3 months? No, you can't.
It's can I save $100? You make $100 a week.
Damn.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great way of
eating off scraps. And then R is relevant. Like, okay, you're setting a goal, but how is becoming the best Twitch streamer? How is that going to improve your quality of life? Like we talked about before, right?
Yeah.
And then time bound, I guess relates back to our first question where it's like how much time are you giving yourself? Are you giving yourself a whole year, the summer, a semester? I think like putting all those together, because I know like at work, every year we have to set these goals and we have to use this stupid freaking format. But it actually helps. Like
smart.
It you don't have to necessarily like list it out like what's my S, what's my M.
Yeah.
It just has
on just, some elementary type shit
in Comic Sans.
You have to make like a PowerPoint and present it to your supervisor. It's like, this is my SMART goal for the year.
But personally, it's just like it's just really helpful just to have those kind of concepts in your mind.
Yeah,
and not just like go setting goals mindlessly and just you know that saying like, shoot for the moon, something you land among the stars.
So if you shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars or whatever.
Yeah. Something like that. But that's kind of like, I kind of don't agree with that, because like that kind of saying, set an unrealistic goal. If you fail, you'll achieve something
else.
Something else. But it's just like
it's setting. Like, what if you don't want to be in the stars, bro?
Yeah. Maybe aim for like across the street first, and then build off of that.
Yeah.
But I guess the next question, I wasn't really planning for this to be a question, but like I guess it's really prominent in like social media culture and influencer, blah.
IG baddies.
This 1% better mentality. Like you see all these people all the time. It's like, give 1% better like every day and you'll be the best you can be. Like, do you guys agree with this? And just to give a background,
I haven't saw this. I need you to explain it to me.
For people who don't know, is essentially like 1% better is like the idea that, say you start off in a year, right? And you have this you have this one goal and you haven't started it, right? But if you get 1% better every day, you'll end up 37 times better at the end of the year. At the end of the year, because you're building off every day's gains. So like for example, if you have a goal of getting fit, you might say, okay, I'll start with 10 push-ups, right? Which is nothing. And you add 1% of that. I can't do math, so I'll just use 1.
Yeah.
You add 1 every day.
0.5 push-ups.
So it's like you do 10 push-ups the first day, and then 11, 12, and then if you continue that throughout the year, at the end of the year you'll be doing like what, 366 push-ups the whole year. So in that sense, it's kind of like unrealistic. But the whole kind of goal, the mindset is, small like improvements 1%. Every day will lead to a greater improvement over time, rather than like jumping straight into like having a big step change.
That logic is kind of like a little bit of
it's a little fall
because it's like it's almost like if like I need to stay awake for 10 hours, so I'm going to drink 2 5-energy drinks. That's what the logic is kind of. It's like sure, let's say you're doing 1 push-up every single day. Let's say day 37. If you're hungry and gassed, if you're tired, you wake up. Like, let's say you didn't get enough sleep. Maybe you got in a fight with like someone else. You're not doing no 37.
Hell no.
You're not and then the next day you got to do 38. And you're like, I can't do 38, and you get kind of getting a snowball again. Like you can't always rely on the idea that you will always be repetitive consistently. Consistency doesn't look like that. It has to look like kind of like
it has to be sustainable.
Sustainable,
And actually.
I don't know. I get the logic of trying to like quantify progress per se, but it's one of those things where like you're thinking of people as machines when you do that, and that's not realistic. You need to understand that not every single people can't function like that every single day.
It reminds me of this like one like graph or like this one picture I saw on the like just scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and it's like 4 different graphs, and it's like it shows you like this is growth. And then like this is growth. And then it's like this is growth or whatever. And it's like it just showed like different types of ways like people kind of like cope, and like people take like dips and like rises and dips and rises, or people like make leaps and bounds and then they kind of stagnate and then they take leaps and bounds again. And it's like you're still growing like at that point. Like,
there's no one correct way.
There's no one correct way. Like just because you aren't going in like a straight exponential line or like whatever. Like, it doesn't.
It's essentially what the 1% better mentality is, because like this actually was reading a book called Atomic Habits, and essentially that's how they defined it, right? So it's like 1% every day you'll see small gains, and then over time it's gonna go up. But like you can't sustain that because like
no.
Go back to the push-up example. Like by day 300, you're doing 301 push-ups.
Yeah, fuck no.
311 push-ups a day. I'm like, I can't do that shit, man.
Hell no. I don't think anyone like I'm pretty sure there's someone out there who can humanly possibly do that. But let's like if you've never done push-ups, like 10 push-ups in your life before that, there's no way you're doing 300 push-ups by day 300.
If, like, even if you were per se do it gradually and you start from 1 and you go all the way to 300. Most of the people I know who are into fitness don't even do 300 push-ups a day.
Hell no.
They're like, nah, that's fucking stupid. Like you go to failure, and that's what they kind of
you go to failure.
You go to failure, and then
you're listening to your body.
You listen to your body, and then you rest. But if you're like building fucking lactic acid in your shit, like you're not. And you're like at like a 250, like, and your body's telling you to stop, and you're at failure. You don't like keep going. You're like, nope, you go to failure. That's I think most like fitness people kind of, if you're trying to build us per se, recommend, right? But because quantity is not always the best way to, I guess, move up in fitness in the fitness realm. Sometimes there's different methods, and so like even the people I know who are the most fit don't even do 300 push-ups a day. That's such
no.
Even 200
like,
or 100.
Like most people are doing like fucking 20, like 20 to 50.
Yeah, and they do it reps.
Like, and then take a rest and then do it again. It's like, no, I'm not doing 300 push-ups in a row. What's wrong with you?
Personally, for myself, like I appreciate the intent.
Because the intent is great.
Yeah, but trying to quantify and like 1% better and like adding onto that, it's kind of it makes it unrealistic and like not achievable. The better way to think of it personally for me is making small optimizations in my life, because essentially where this like kind of idea came from is, I'm not going to get into it but too deep, is from like this British cycling team that did really bad in their competitions previously, and then this one guy came in, and he said like, okay, let's look at each individual component of like the bike, and then the cyclist, and then like our training, and improve that by 1%.
1% each. Right?
Each of them by 1%.
Yeah.
So like they improved the seat, they made it more comfortable, they improved their like I don't know what they call it, like the uniform, their outfit,
their
and
jersey
then, like,
or whatever.
their jersey, and then they improved training a little bit, they improved their diet a little bit, and then they were able to win. Yeah. So it's not like you're accumulating it. Every component is improved a little bit, and that kind of adds up. Yeah. So that kind of like
the logic.
That I kind of apply that to my life as well. Like optimizations everywhere, rather than like trying to achieve that exponential growth. Yeah. Because like, for example, the example I use is like, if you're trying to save money, right? Like, okay, so first you got to start a budget. What do you need to start a budget? If you've never budgeted before, watch a 10-minute YouTube video.
Watch a 10-minute YouTube video, and then buy a book to write everything in.
Download an app or something,
and you can spread that over time, right? So it's not just like, okay, I need a budget. I need to make an Excel spreadsheet by
right away
next week, by tomorrow, and then you can spread it out, right?
Yeah,
and then like
spread those butt cheeks,
yeah. So just making those small. I think it's a better way of looking at it.
It's like 1%. I won't buy a coffee tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
like small thing. It's like it's not. We're not saying make a packed lunch the night before and
meal prep for the whole month.
Prep for the whole month. It's like, nah, bro. Like, just don't buy coffee in the morning.
I don't think I've ever meal prep for the whole month. I've only done a week. The
meal prep for a week.
No, I think the most I've done is like 3 days in advance, bro, and then that's it. Like,
man, meal prepping is such a struggle.
I did before the recording this podcast. I was trying to get everything cooked before coming, and so when you said you're gonna be late, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we got our. Oh, you want to say something?
I was just saying, like, I get the logic, but I think it doesn't always apply to every single activity.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of applies, like, that kind of resonates with some of the things that we've already said. Like, you can't apply all of these methods to your own life, because like sometimes it won't fit. Some methods will work better. You just gotta, like, I think the biggest thing is like habits and having a support system. Like, if you have those two, you can pretty much do anything.
Small quantifiable improvements
small
to your life. Yeah.
And we'll move on to our last question. It's kind of like a more fun one.
Let's go.
Do you guys have any like personal goals or resolutions?
I made one because I wasn't planning to, because I was in the first question. I was like, I don't believe in this shit.
Yeah.
But I made one because of Karen, and so my goal is to read a book every month. One book. I remember Karen was saying she wanted to do 20 books by the end of the year. I'm like, yo, girl, chill, calm down.
Chill, that's like 2 books. That's like 2 books some months, bro. That's crazy.
It's a lot, right? The reason being is because obviously Karen was in sociology, right? And then I think obviously I didn't finish school, but I was always like interested in academics, and so like I've been reading a lot of like books about like imperialism, like the flaws that science cannot do in order to figure out what is fact and what is fiction. And so I've been trying to read a book that teaches me like things about the body and psychology, evolution, biology, whatever, every book. And so and also it also helps the podcast as well. Like when I'm talking, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not an asshole. So that's like my resolution is reading a book every month. And so it's the first book I'm reading right now. I kind of like maybe 1/4 of the way. It's called Alpha Gods. Kind of teaches the way that religion affects our behavior. So it's pretty interesting. But and then the next thing I'm reading a book about like murders and killers and the psychology of why they become murders and killers. So literally
sounds like a good book.
It's all just psychology books, but that's kind of what I'm doing, and it's really interesting. And then another goal is just to kind of continue piano. I already kind of started like in November last month, like restarted again. And I've been doing that whole like, you know how we talk about the drawing analogy? I just play a little bit here and there, and I'll do an online lesson, and then sometimes I'll just kind of play around the piano. And then even if it's 15 minutes, I'll put it away. I just did something. I felt it, and then I put it away.
Mine is what's it called? Mine is to like lose weight and get absolutely shredded. Like that's my like not New Year's resolution. I think it was more like when I hit 25, I was like, fuck, I'm fat as shit. Like it was like 24 actually. Like this is just like an ongoing continuous thing that I've kind of been like doing.
Did you get COVID weight?
Yeah, it was COVID weight. I was like, I hit 24. I think it was like I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast, but I tell this story all the time to like our group of friends. And I think Vince, you know this story about, is it the Regency Day? So to preface this, this is kind of like the turning point for me. So as you guys all know, I'm a very big eater, and like now, like I think my appetite's actually gone like a lot more down. I think it's like one because of the psychedelics I use, and two because of like I just have a less of an appetite because I've like conditioned myself for it. But I think the peak of it was when our good friend Flores was still living in Calgary. We went out to eat, and I think it was like right before he was about to leave, so we all wanted to go like out for like food. And so I wake up, it's my day off. I wake up at like 9 o'clock and I'm like, yo, like it's time to eat. I'm assuming dim sum's gonna be at like 6, right? I assume we're gonna get dim sum at like 6. Little did my dumbass know that it's only a breakfast. It's mostly a breakfast thing. So most places close at like 2:30. So I'm like, it's like 9. I'm messaging the boys. I'm like, hey, what time are we gonna go for dim sum? No one's really responding to me. So I'm like, okay, let me get some lunch. And so I order like Ito, which is like this Japanese the
Taco Bell Japan.
It's like it's Japanese fast food essentially. And I got this noodle dish. I go sumo size, which is like the largest size you can get. I get double beef because I'm a big boy. This is at 11 o'clock, mind you. So here's the thing: everyone wakes up at like 11:30, and everyone's like, "Oh, like we're gonna go get dim sum at like 1."
Oh fuck!
It's 11:30.
Well, at first they were like saying, "Let's get dim sum at 4," but we're like, "No, dim sum is a breakfast brunch thing. You have to go earlier."
Yeah, you have to go earlier.
Like, okay, let's get it at 1.
Okay, no, I think it was like, oh no, let's go get it at 2, and it's like 11:30 at this point. My food just gets here, right? And so I'm like, fuck, okay, well, like if it's 2, I got time. And then Ziad, like Zizo, like our good friend who plays Sephiroth, and Smash Bros is his favorite game in the world, goes and texts me. He's like, yo, okay, so I'm gonna pick you up at like 1. No, I feels like 1:30 or like 1, and I'm like, fuck. So it's 12 at this point. I'm like not even half done my meal. I still gotta get ready, and I'm like, so I scarf that shit down, and like the shit hurts. And I'm like, I'm taking a Tums before I go to like eat dim sum. Because like the reason why he has to pick me up early is because he can pick me up and then he's gonna pick another friend up and then we're all gonna carpool there, right?
Yeah.
And then we're all gonna meet at Regency. And so like we all like and granted, this is the same group where we overeat, right? So here's the preface. We all I eat my Ito. I'm like, fuck, okay, I feel like shit, but I think I can body it. Like I'll just go light because it's like we have like 7 other friends going, so I'll be fine, right? Pull up to the place. We like there's only
4 or 5 of us.
There's like 5 of us, like because like so a couple others like had to work and shit, and they like bailed, and we're like, fuck, okay. There's like 5 or 6 of us, and we hand the menu to Zizo. And here's the thing about Zizo, like when I tell you that like all of us like make stupid decisions, like back then it was mostly just like me and Zizo that would be like the shit orderers that always over order, because the thing with me and Zizo is that back then we would always order with our stomachs. And so like we'd always assume that like everyone at the table has our appetite when they really don't. Like
from a tiny Mexican boy.
I'm like I was 6 foot 250 like at that point. Like I'm a big ass fucking guy. Azizo was around like about the same weight as me. He's like a little bit taller, but like he was around the same and had the same appetite. So like, oh, okay, like let's just order a bunch of shit. And so we ordered a bunch of shit. We overate. We all felt like shit, and we're like, okay, fuck. Like I think we had like fucking like 20 to 30 plates of dim sum that day.
Oh my god, it was
disgusting. And like Zizo had to go and like yak in the bathroom like halfway through. And so the night comes, we all get high and smoke weed and stuff, have a good time, play Smash, and then like, yo, we're hungry again. No. And so we ordered D-Spot
dessert place,
and I get a hidden gem and a milkshake. And so the day after, I'm obviously popping Tums like it's fucking like Flintstone gummies at this point.
Yeah.
And like Flintstone and so like after that day I was like, man, I'm fat as shit. I need to fix my diet and I need to fix my habits. So I like started like, and it was obviously those little habits. I started ordering less. I started like, you know, like not eating out as much, right? And going to the gym more consistently. And it's like, now I'm like not the COVID 250 kuya anymore. Like I'm not technically big kuya anymore. Like I'm more just kuya.
medium kuya.
Yeah.
Just like moderate kuya. Like I'm proud to say like I've lost like most of that weight. Like I'm down to like 215 now. Nice. Which is like good. Yeah. Now I'm like more cutting and I just want to be like super jacked and buff because I just think it'd be cool to be super jacked and buff. Like it just be like I like look at myself and I'll be like, yo, be cool if I was muscular. And so like that's just one, like again, that's just like one like New Year's, quote unquote New Year's resolution I'm like consistently going through because I'm like, yo, like it'd be cool. But yeah, that was my turning point for my New Year's resolution. And that's been going on for like 2 years.
I think my turning point was like I was just eating like shit throughout all COVID and everything. And there was one little like Christmas event. I think it was called Eden Eve Noel. I don't even remember what the fuck it was called. It was like some late show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I went with Karen.
I know.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I went with my girlfriend and like she took photos and I looked at myself and I was like, holy fuck. Like my face was like
I look nasty. Yeah.
And like I was looking at myself and I was like, damn. Like and I saw and like obviously like it's probably pretty bad to compare yourself in like in beginning of university and high school because obviously like, your body was still growing at the time.
Yeah, you're like pretty much peak at that point. Your metabolism is at the highest.
Yeah, you will never ever go back to that, and I think a lot of people kind of forget that. Yeah. But even still, when I saw those photos, I was like, damn, Fat Albert, like what the fuck happened?
Yeah, bro. I look like I ate my former self. Like that's what I look like.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, for me it was like my sister's graduation. Like because my sister graduated like during the peak of COVID. So like we went and I was like, yo, like I look fat as shit.
So I had to stop, man. But I definitely like think that was a turning point. Like, okay, I think I need to get my shit together.
Yeah.
I had that moment too. I think I was grade 10 and we still had friends who were in high school from like from dance, right?
Yeah.
And I went to one of our friends' birthday parties and I looked at the pictures. Bro, my shirt was like my belly was like out and my shirt was like you know how your shirt is usually like with your like tight to your body, right? Like at least straight. It was like out, bro. I'm like, damn. I got
to me too.
Yeah. But for me, like, I don't really have one specific for this year. It's like you're on where it's like an ongoing type goal. But this one is one that I've been working on for a while. And I think this year I kind of want to like by the end of the year or early next year, I want to get my own house.
Yo, big moves.
Because like,
yes, sir, big moves.
Yeah, I think it's that time, and I've been saving up for like a couple.
You've been saving up for a while. I remember you were telling me like even pre-COVID, you were telling me about it. You're like, yeah, I want to save up for a house.
Yeah.
So like,
I think this year's the year.
It's been, bro.
So we don't have to go to Airbnbs for our
fucking parties. We can host UGH at your house.
No, for real, bro.
We don't have to do it in the basement, but chill. The basement has it's its charm, bro.
The basement is very has very Atitubo energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Rod and Lawrence. So hopefully by next year, and then we can host our parties with a working fridge.
Yeah,
and
that's a story for another time.
Not cheap ass chairs. That's a story for another time.
So I know we should do like worst travel or worst B&B.
Oh, we got some stories.
No, one of our worst B&B experiences was that Vancouver trip. Oh my god.
I wasn't there, but I want to hear about it.
So bad, bro. Holy fuck.
Well, anyways, Jason's laptop is dying, so we'll close up the episode.
We'll close it out.
Hope you guys had a great holidays and a happy new year, whatever goals or resolutions you have.
Drop your guys' goals in the comments or DM us your goals. That'd be sick. I'd be down to listen to them.
Hope you guys achieve all your goals. Remember to celebrate your dubs, no matter how small.
No matter how small. Anything for the dub.
And trust the process.
Exactly.
Bye.
Right,
Peace.
Bye. See you guys.